everyone. So now that the last of the workshops has finished, we hope you enjoyed the workshops and through them learned more about the FGLI identity. So we're really aiming to resolve the stigma and raise awareness about this identity. And for the workshops you couldn't attend, Umbrella will actually remain open for a short period of time. So you can still review other workshops by selecting the Stream tab on Umbrella, then selecting the workshop from the drop-down menu. Right now it says the keynote address, so you can just scroll down from that drop-down menu and select a different workshop that you're unable to attend. And for some reason, if you go to Umbrella and you're still not able to, if you're not able to see the workshop anymore, we'll also be posting some of the workshop videos on YouTube. And so to conclude the day, we'll actually be doing breakout rooms, a Jamboard, and following up with some concluding words. So while Zara organizes these breakout rooms, what we're going to be doing these breakout rooms is discussing some of the things you learned in the workshops, as well as mentioning some of the things you learned in the workshops to others who weren't actually were unable to attend those workshops, and ultimately just reflecting on the experience. And so Zara will also be posting some guided questions to help facilitate those conversations.
Okay, so the questions for the discussion are already in the chat, and I'm going to activate the breakout rooms. And so you might be moved from this room to another one. And then once it's done, you'll be moved back in. But if you have any trouble or you need to navigate in between it, feel free to come back to the main room or just message us as well on our Facebook account and we can help out. Okay, that worked.
That was better than expected. Everybody just organized themselves evenly. 4, 4, 4, 4.
No, I did that. I sent them, yeah, I sent a message to them saying you can pick your room, and then no one did. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll put every FGSU person in it.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, it's like split up. Okay.
Yeah. And then it's for 15 minutes, so it should work. All recorded, right?
Oh yeah, it'll cut this part out.
Yeah, for sure.
Just cut this part out, yeah.
Yes. One room has like 3 FGSU members, which is a bit sad. The other ones are distributed properly.
It's okay. all these work clothes coming in handy. I got like work attire. It's like useful for like stuff like this.
Very true.
You have to dress like nicely for work. So I expanded like the wardrobe to more semi-formal, formal clothes.
Yes. Should we join a room? What do you think?
If we join a room, we can go back into the main meeting, right? I think.
I believe so, but maybe how about
one of us do
yeah,
that.
one of us. So maybe you join, because if I leave, I don't know if
You're
I'll
the
be able
host,
to.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
Okay,
gonna
I'll check them out. I'll check them out different ones to see what's happening.
Okay, I'll put you in a room that Alyssa's in. Oh, never mind, that was moving me. Oopsie.
I can just join. Yeah. All right, so now that everyone's back from the breakout rooms, we hope you had some great discussions. We're actually going to move on to the next part, which is using Jamboard to generate commitment statements based on what was discussed in the breakout rooms. So the purpose of these commitment statements is to take what you've learned and put it into action. So I'll give an example. So you commit to learning more about Indigenous history as part of your commitment to equity and justice. So tying that action to, like, for instance, the content that was presented in one conference theme. So links, Bazar will post a link in the Zoom chat, and the Jamboard will be divided into the 3 conference streams. So feel free to add any commitment statements you can come up with. And how to add the commitment statement, there's a sticky note tab you just need to click and then type into that sticky note and then click OK.
I'm just going to share my screen here, and we'll read out a few of the commitments that have been made throughout this conference and after attending all the workshops. And so I'll just pick a few to read, and then we'll try and look at the other slides as well, just to get an idea of everything. One of them says, I'm committed to giving grace to myself for being where I am today, which is amazing. Another one is that I'm committed to not being a perfectionist as it only leads to procrastination. I'm committed to providing mentorship and guidance to fellow FGLI students to navigate their academic journey. I'm committed to not being ashamed by accessing academic accommodations. I'm committing as a TA, which is a teacher assistant, to treat FGLI students with patience for language barriers and to provide them with resources they may not know about. In our next slide, we have the commitment towards empowering FGLI students. Some of them include supporting FGLI initiatives, donating to FGLI initiatives, giving back by mentorship, and destigmatizing the FGLI identity, as well as collecting data on such students within university systems. Finally, we have the commitments towards unlearning biases and also towards furthering equity and justice in higher education. Some of them include the commitment towards having open conversations with students who identify as FGLI, committing to talk and learn about backgrounds of all the people that we connect with, trying to find opportunities to make the land acknowledgement more evolving and personal, and self-reflection and advocacy within the community to change traditional values or other perspectives. And finally, listening to stories of FGLI students in order to amplify their voices. Thank you everyone for the commitments that you've shared. This is very impactful for us as well, just so that we stay accountable to each other as conference attendees and so that we can grow and learn from each other.
So as we begin to wrap up the conference, I'd like to thank all the attendees for their participation and the willingness to learn. I know it might have been quite the long day for some of you who have been here since the beginning. And I'd also like to thank the funders, which included Global Lounge, Sexual Violence Prevention and Response Office, Global Research System Program, and the UBC Equity and Inclusion Office. So then, and community partners as well for their support, which are WUSC, so that's World University Service of Canada, Charitable Impact, and UBC Climate Hub, and Fresh Prep. And so like an extra thank you to Fresh Prep because they actually sponsored a raffle prize for gift cards to Access meal kits. And so our winners are actually Ray Zhang, Lu Du, and I might butcher this name, but I'll try my best. Kawi Kelly IPO. If you're here, feel free to like correct my pronunciation. But regardless, we'll be sending the emails to all those raffle prize winners. And lastly, I'd just like to thank the team, the volunteers, panelists, speakers, and exec team. They spent a lot of time and are very dedicated on preparing and helping to bring this conference together. And it was a pleasure to work with so many of you. And putting a conference on can be tough as it is, and COVID definitely has added to our added and made this more of a challenge. But our team shifted everything online. We adapted, and while that we were adapting, we had our fair share of working, studying, and handling FGLI related challenges. But at the end of the day, we persevered and put this conference on. So the resilience and commitment the team has shown to put something of this caliber on is amazing. And for me, it's like an honor to be part of such a team. And I know for me, this club itself helped me a lot. I was lost at university trying to figure out things until I really joined the club. I met and chatted with wonderful and supportive people, fellow FGLIs and campus partners. And again, I've met wonderful and supportive people today during the conference. And one of the great things is we can help each other in stressful times by supporting one another, as well as celebrating our successes together. And I know some of you mentioned this, but we really hope you got a sense of support and community through the conference, as well as from the UBC FGSU community. And ultimately, we want all the FGLIs to be proud of their identity. And so I'm very happy to see all the support for FGLI and the assembly of people we have here today. It is amazing to see the local support, so from UBC students and partners, to provincial support, people from other universities, as well as ministers from the government, and national support. So we had participants from different parts of Canada. And if you'd like to continue to support and stay up to date with our work, please follow us on our social media sites. We are hoping to continue this initiative and make it sustainable and ideally hosted at other educational institutions by FGLI students. So please continue to share your support as you have done today. And ultimately, the goal was to feature the FGLI identity to the different workshops. So that has paved the way for impact, paved the way for inclusion, and paved the way for justice. Ultimately, with this conference, we are paving the way. I believe we have laid the first brick in the road, and that road will eventually lead FGLIs in the right direction. So that concludes the conference. The team will stick around if there are any questions. Otherwise, have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
I think it's